sawing apparently.
Your stuff in progress?
For 15 minutes.
Right, forget everything else.
That will be the headline. Well, hello everyone, and we are so thrilled to be here at MMY US to celebrate so many great things that are reflective of the positive momentum that is happening across our city, across our state, in large part thanks to the leadership of our amazing governor, Governor Andy Beshear, and his entire Team Kentucky that is joining us here today. First, welcome to MMY US. You'll hear from Spencer shortly, but we are in a factory right here in Louisville where you can see behind us homes being made by Louisvillians for Louisvillians. These two boxes behind us, by the end of July, a family in Louisville will be living in a new affordable home that they own as a result of the work that is being done here by other Louisvillians building homes in Louisville for Louisvillians. And we are so excited about this initiative. We are also here to celebrate the launch of the governor's new initiative on pre-K that you'll hear a lot more about shortly. But I just want to say beyond pre-K, we are fortunate in Kentucky to have a governor that has led this state through some incredibly challenging times. Public health crises, natural disasters, and at the same time, he and Team Kentucky have been leading the way, creating good-paying, career path jobs all across the state, working with cities like Louisville to improve public safety, to ensure that more Kentuckians have places and affordable, safe, quality places to live, just as MMY US is working to create even more as part of that broad plan. And also to ensure great education, great public education, K through 12, higher education, you name it. Governor Beshear and his team have been leading the way to improve the quality of lives of Kentuckians today and for those long into the future. And something connecting all of that is that we have a governor who is not just thinking about short-term solutions, which we know are important, but long-term solutions as well. And one of these long-term solutions is early childhood education. And we are so fortunate to have the governor in Louisville today to talk about his plans for the future in this area, because the research is clear. All of us here today have seen it, from the business community, from our friends in the organized labor community. Everybody knows that when kids get off to a great start with high quality early childhood learning, they are 70% less likely to commit a violent crime in their life. It benefits everyone in the economy. Kids who attend preschool are more likely to graduate from high school, earn more over their lifetime, create more jobs, stay healthy for longer, and the list goes on and on. It's also great for parents and guardians who have an opportunity to rejoin and re-enter the workforce after having kids. They can contribute, create wealth for their family, while their kids are learning in a safe, quality environment. So it is my absolute privilege to have in Louisville today the greatest governor across the United States, someone who is leading the way on all of these issues and will take on hard, challenging solutions like making early childhood education a reality for kids across Kentucky. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Governor Andy Beshear.
Well, what a great welcome, and let's give it up for the great mayor of Louisville, Craig Greenberg. I also want to thank MMY for hosting us today. What we see as we walk through this building is, first, houses that are going to Family Scholar House across the river. Then you're seeing houses that are going to be right here in Louisville. And what's going to happen after those houses in Louisville are housing that's going to go up in Skyview in eastern Kentucky as we move people out of the floodplain into safe homes that will never flood again. So I want to thank them for hosting us today. Today, Brittany and I join you here with one goal in mind: to make pre-K a reality for every 4-year-old in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. We are here not as Democrats or Republicans, not as a part of the right or the left. Instead, we're here as parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles, educators, and business leaders. We're here because we want the best for Kentucky's kids, the best for Kentucky's parents and caregivers, and we want to build and maintain the best workforce in the United States of America. Let's start with doing what's best for our kids. Every child deserves a good start. As it says in Proverbs, start children off on the way they should go, and even when they're old, they will not turn from it. As excited as I am of what's going on in Kentucky, record economic success, we must recognize we are failing to provide our children with the good start they deserve. Right now, more than half of Kentucky's children arrive in kindergarten not kindergarten ready. Before they ever step into one of our public schools, we have failed to provide the services that get them ready to achieve. It creates a gap that is nearly impossible to close. So to increase kindergarten readiness, it's our goal to offer pre-K for every 4-year-old across the state of Kentucky. How about better supporting Kentucky's families? When it comes to Kentucky parents and caregivers, they need more opportunity and more options. American families right now are struggling to pay the bills, and childcare is a big part of that. Pre-K for all can ease the financial burden facing our hardworking families and make paying those bills not just a little, but a lot easier. And think about the lack of options for some. Right now, 79 of our 120 counties, nearly 2/3, don't have enough access to child care to serve every family that needs it. That's a term called a child care desert. Nearly 2/3 of Kentucky qualifies. Most of these counties are located in eastern Kentucky. What that means is so many of our neighbors want to get back to work, but simply can't afford or simply don't have an option for child care. We can help with that. One study shows that pre-K boosts parents' earnings by nearly $9,000 per year for 6 consecutive years. That means $54,000 of additional earnings for our Kentucky families that'll make paying those bills just a little bit easier and allow those parents to provide more opportunities for those children. Helping our families earn more is what we should strive to do, and it makes our jobs here in Kentucky that much more attractive. And what's good for Kentucky families is also good for Kentucky business and the Kentucky economy. Over time, pre-K for all is projected to grow Kentucky's workforce by up to 70,000 people. And studies show that for every $1 that we invest in pre-K, we get $10 back that cycle through our economy. That's a pretty good return. That's a pretty good investment. Right now, we are on a historic economic winning streak where we have broken every record in the book. We've broken our private sector investment record. We've broken our new jobs record with 60,500 newly announced jobs. And while we are at the highest point ever for the number of people working, the number of jobs filled, and the size of our labor force, we know that we have to do more if we want to attract that next business and the one after that and the one after that. Yes, we have climbed so many rankings that we have always dreamed about, but we still have further to go, and this is the next step that helps us get there. Pre-K for all is a step we must take to boost our economy, to strengthen our workforce, to better educate our kids, and to put more money in the pockets of our hardworking Kentucky families. It is a win, win, win for our people. And I also want to make sure that I make clear that all those families, doesn't matter their party registration, it helps them all the same. Doesn't matter where they live in this state, it helps them all the same. See, when we're doing government right, we're putting programs into place that help every single Kentuckian lift us all up. Isn't a fight about right or left, but just offers a path forward for our economy, for our families, and for our kids. I think Kentuckians know that education is the key to unlocking the brighter future that every child deserves. And right now, we're behind at least 18 other states that offer pre-K access to all 4-year-olds. That's 18 states that can tell the next business looking at them that they have pre-K services, that can tell the next talented family with young kids that they can offer them that cost savings, that can tell a workforce that they will make more in their state because they have pre-K. And like I said, it's not about red or blue. You look at these states, we're talking about blue states like Colorado, or how about a red state like Florida that's had pre-K services since 2005? How about a state like Alabama? How about a state like Georgia? Or how about a state and one of our neighbors like West Virginia, which has offered it since 2002? Yes, we are 23 years behind West Virginia in this area. They've gotten it done. We can too. And here's how we're going to go about starting. Today, by executive order, I am creating the Team Kentucky Pre-K for All Advisory Committee. We're bringing together 28 great leaders from across the Commonwealth from different geographic regions and political backgrounds who have a broad range of experience in education, workforce development, and business. These leaders are great advocates, and they are going to tour our state to make sure that everyone's voice gets heard as we put together what could be the best pre-K program in this country. We have parents like Rudy Spencer. We have educators like Maddie Shepard, Joel Wolford, and Jenny Ward Bolander. We have local leaders like Sarah Davishar Wisdom, President and CEO of Greater Louisville, Inc. We have both red and blue state leaders like former Representatives Travis Brenda as well as Derek Graham. We have leaders from the business community like Scott Davis, who's the chairman and CEO of Field and Main Bank and chair of the Kentucky Chamber of Commerce. We have our commissioner of the Kentucky Department of Education, Dr. Robbie Fletcher, and Council on Post-Secondary Education President, Dr. Aaron Thompson. We have an all-star group of leaders from every part of this Commonwealth, from every aspect of our economy, all coming together because they believe this is the right thing to do. As a dad, I know it's the right thing to do. Every Kentucky child deserves the same opportunities to get that pre-K education and make sure they hit kindergarten running and competitive with every other Kentucky child. As a dad and as governor, there's nothing more important than making sure that all of our children at least have the opportunity to succeed. We need pre-K for all to make sure every child in every corner of the Commonwealth gets that chance. Scripture tells us that children are a gift from God, and I believe that we have a responsibility as adults to build a better state for every single one of them. We all know that we can do this with pre-K for all. Let's finally get this done. With a little help from the A-team, which is what this committee will be, I know that we can engage this Commonwealth and that pre-K for all can be the #1 ask in this next legislative for business, the #1 ask from education, the #1 ask for everybody who helps build our workforce because it's immediate impact in each and every area. So let's make pre-K for all a reality for every single Kentucky child. So now I'm going to welcome the guy that just put the A-Team theme song on the air for us, Spencer Wiley, Chair of the Board and partner at MMY.
It was the A-Team, yes. Good morning, everyone. Welcome, Governor Beshear, Mayor Greenberg, distinguished guests, our clients, valued, and members of our MMY team who are behind you and around you somewhere. It's truly an honor to welcome you here today to our Beach Street factory, a manufacturing facility that not long ago stood empty, stood quiet, in a neighborhood that for way too long has been underserved. Today it's home to over 70 hardworking staff of our MMY team. And it stands as a vision and a testament to what commitment looks like and what partnership looks like in Louisville and the wider Kentucky area. We're incredibly proud of the work that we do here. It's not just about what we manufacture, and you can literally see what we're building behind us, but it's the opportunity that we create right here in the West End. But we're not stopping here. We have an exciting announcement as well today, where the next phase of our investment is ready to be announced. The transformation, some of you might have seen, the ice house that sits in our facility, that is now going to become our childcare pre-K facility. And by the end of 2025, it'll become a space that's available for what we call the mum and dad shift, which is a short evening shift designed specifically for parents who may not have access to an opportunity to the workforce, and it's somewhere where we provide those valuable working hours for some of those working parents, on-site childcare, and even a hot meal for the kids that come and join us. Because we know that when families are supported, communities thrive, and that's really, really important to what we do at MMY. Our initiative aligns exactly with Governor Beshear's vision for early childhood access and a family-forward economic policy. We're proud to play our part and making that vision a reality as well. So it's a big thank you to our staff for their dedication and spirit in what we're doing here. To our guests, thank you very much for believing in what we do. And to the future, we can say with confidence, this is the beginning for us. Special thanks to Governor Beshear and to Mayor Greenberg for both and their respective teams for their leadership and support in what we've done here. And it's very, very much appreciated, and thank you all for coming today. I think Rudy's coming next. Rudy? Where are you? Was it Doctor? Sorry, apologies. I messed it up.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. What an exciting time for the Commonwealth. I want to thank the mayor for his deep commitment to the investments in early learning that he's making here in the city of Louisville. The National Center for Families Learning, of which I am president and CEO, is proud to partner with the city of Louisville for early learning progress. I also want to thank the governor for continuing to beat the drum that investments in public school education matter to this Commonwealth's workforce and our future. I don't have to convince any of you that are here in the room today that this is the right thing to do right now. Many of you have dedicated your lives to improving early care and learning outcomes. I know that because I've been doing the same. We know that 90% of a child's brain develops during the first 5 years. We also know that children who are in high-quality preschool programs are better prepared for kindergarten. We have the research, we've implemented pilot programs, we've supported pathways for early care and education professionals because we need to take care of them as well. And it may not be perfect yet, but we have been building toward this day for decades. For decades. Now more than ever, we see how the lack of early care and education opportunities are hindering parents' ability to work due to long enrollment wait lists, provider closures, and increased cost. Pre-K for All will provide more families with the opportunity to enroll their children in high-quality early learning environments, allowing more parents to participate and remain in the workforce, contributing to, as the governor mentioned, Kentucky's overall growth and economic development. We need to clear out the obstacles. We need to create a greater access for all, because each and every child and family across the Commonwealth needs to see and believe that early learning and education matters. It can change the trajectory of families and generations to come. We know this. So, what will it take for Kentucky to be among the leading states to ensure that pre-K for all for every 4-year-old is in a high-quality early learning preschool environment, one where they feel cared for, one where they can play and learn together, and where they can be exposed to experiences to ensure that they're on the right track for success for kindergarten? Are we ready together to take this next big, bold step? I'm proud to be here today. I'm proud to serve on this committee. I just cannot wait to see what's going to happen over the next few months and years to come. Thank you for all of you, for all the work that you do, and thank you for the leadership of key leaders in this state. We do have the best governor, and we need to be proud of that. Let's take a step now.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Oh, all right, okay. All right, well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rudy Spencer, and I'm proud to be here today, both as a committee member, but also as a proud husband and a proud dad. I have an incredibly active 3-year-old who's just, yeah, that's a great way to put it. A very active 3-year-old. And I actually have a little boy who was born just last week, so 1 week old. Thank you. So first, I have to give a shout out to my wife for holding down the fort and also encouraging me to be here today, to step away from paternity leave, to be here because this topic is so important to us. And also to my mom, Grandma, for also helping us as well. It's been a joyous week, but a lot of sleepless nights, and that's probably why you see the bags under my eyes. So, my wife is just as passionate about affordable and accessible universal pre-K as I am. I might be on the earlier side of parenthood than some of us in the room, but I suspect many of us have had the same moment when you get home. You get home, you have your baby in your hands, and you're looking at each other, and you're like, what do I do next? There is no playbook about taking care of your kid, and my wife and I, we spent those early days talking with each other about what do we hope and pray for, and what do we dream about for our kids. Most of that was rooted in education. And so we decided to put our daughter into a preschool. So when we enrolled her into the preschool program to help her build a stronger start, we were absolutely shocked at the cost. Just a little data point here. In 2023, the average out-of-pocket cost for childcare or preschool in Kentucky was more than $6,800. If you're like us, who decided to put our daughter in a half-day program, you still need some sort of childcare to help with the other preschools. So that number is actually much higher. So parents are working hard, they're getting good jobs, but your budget makes you question, are you doing the right thing for your kid's future? But beyond the price of preschool, it's even harder to find a spot. As the governor mentioned, in some of our counties are childcare deserts, some even in eastern Kentucky. And that means for many families, early education is not just unaffordable, it's unavailable. And even in places like here in Louisville, where there might be more providers, the process is absolutely overwhelming. My wife and I spent hours researching, calling, trying to get on the wait list, paying deposits to try to get our kid into the right, to hold a spot almost a year in advance for our kiddos. So even though it's hard to find a program that fit our daughter's needs, we found it. But it also tweaks about the learning style, and also you have to figure out your work schedule for a parent, which is why that is awesome, that on-site childcare that you're providing. Sorry, excuse me, 1 second. Look, it shouldn't be that difficult to find a safe, nurturing place for your child during their most formative years. At the same time, my wife wanted to go back to work and trying to figure out how do we balance that opportunity for her. She's an incredibly talented and passionate about what she does in healthcare, but the financial strain of childcare, on top of all the other costs that come with the growing family, forced her back to work sooner than when she was ready. And that even includes her taking some unpaid time off. It wasn't because it was the right time for our family, it's because my family didn't have another choice. So now with a newborn at home, as I mentioned, we are having many of the same hard questions today. How do we afford this a second time? What if there's no spot? And how do we give our kids the same strong start? And that's why I'm here speaking today, both as a dad, as a committee member, but also as a Kentuckian who believes that we can do better. The phrase pre-K for all is more than just a policy, it's definitely a promise to Kentucky. It says that no matter your income, your zip code, your child deserves to learn, to grow, and to be ready for school. And to my parents, it says that you are not on this journey alone with your children. We just got the school just ended, so we just got my daughter's first report card. And I'm super proud about this, super proud. I might frame it. But it was more than just a piece of paper. It was a turning point in our conversations at home about our child's future. That, coupled with the 20 to 30-minute parent-teacher conference that I wish was longer, gave us the roadmap for her development. We had a trained educator that was a little bit more than Sesame Street and Miss Rachel, if you know, you know. Someone who was trained to understand how children grow beyond just what we get from their pediatrician. That helped us see where she was thriving and where she needed more support. And that conversation has transformed how we parent and also how we are planning to invest in her future. That's the kind of partnership that I dream about for Kentucky, that I dream about for all of our families here in the state. That's what universal pre-K makes possible. Kentucky is built on strong families and strong values. But if we want a stronger workforce, if you want to support working parents, if you want to give every child an opportunity, a fair shot, we have to start early. We have to start early. So I'm excited to work on this committee to try to give our kids that early start that they deserve. Let's be sure that universal pre-K is the starting gate to Kentucky's brightest future. Thank you all.
All right, I have been waiting a long time for this day, but the kickoff for our Pre-K for All initiative is finally here. Because the time for pre-K in Kentucky is now. We just heard the governor and all of these speakers today share their perspective, and you know, they thought that Kentucky's highest elected teacher should be the one to back cleanup, so here I am. But today, my most fitting title is Evelyn's mom, and I want for every Kentucky child what I want for my own, the best possible shot that we can give them, and that starts with pre-K for all, not some, not the wealthiest communities or the college towns or the cities with the biggest businesses. All Kentucky kids deserve access to pre-K, and I'm going to make it plain. I'm going to make it plain. Prison populations are projected by third grade literacy rates. Third grade literacy rates are predicted by kindergarten readiness. And the number one determinant of kindergarten readiness is access to universal pre-K. So we have two choices. We can invest in our young people on the front end, or we will literally pay for it on the back end. The Commonwealth of Kentucky will never reach its full potential if our children's zip code determines their place in the world by their first day of kindergarten. But we can't do this alone. We need all of Team Kentucky to step up and to speak up. We need you to talk to your friends and your family about pre-K for all. We need you to tell people that you work with and work for that pre-K for all matters, because Kentucky kids matter. And most important, we need you to contact your state representatives and let them know that pre-K for all is what Kentucky families demand, and it's what they deserve. And a great place to start is our new website. You can go to prekforall.ky.gov and find all the information that you need to educate yourself, your friends and family, and your elected officials about how important this is. So again, that's prekforall.ky.gov. So let's get to work, Team Kentucky, because the time for pre-K is now. Thank you so much.
That concludes today's announcement. We'll take questions from the press separately. Thank you for coming out, for all of our leaders. Look at the number of Louisville State legislators we have today. Thank you all for being here. Our kids are worth it. Let's get it done. Thank you all.